What is the political currency? What is your understanding of why an administration on either side, this happened under the Trump administration, it happens under the Biden administration, it happened under the Obama administration. What is it that people don't understand about it? What can we say right now to make people understand this is not a political football? This is the humanitarian crisis.
100% I agree with it. It is affect everyone. And I'm going to give you my own bias. I spoke at Derek Maltz and I spoke at the Lost Voices of Fentanyl. My own bias, I'm thinking, this is a conservative group in Washington, D.C. The majority of the people that have lost their loved ones there were Democrats. And it hit me. The pill doesn't care. The cartels don't care. The human trafficker, they're not going to care what political side they're on. This is affecting every American and killing us. And this is the part that is very frustrating for us to understand why, if it's in the form of a pill, because if it was a form of bullets or a bomb, we'd definitely be reacting in a very different way. But because it's a silent killer with these counterfeit pills, there's no urgency. I don't know of any other terrorist organization, not ISIS, not the Taliban, not anyone that has killed as many Americans, but the cartels have. And that's why I'm in favor of labeling them as terrorists as well, so we could be able to approach them in a different manner, even the different manner that I did as an investigator, DrPhil. I had to identify you, follow you, surveillance, get your bank statements. All that took me months, and then I eventually take you and your crew down. Those days are over. The cartels have evolved. The cartels have evolutionized to a different state, I believe, in a narco state, in a narco terrorist state, that they need to be dealt with adequately. And that's where the political will comes in, because you have to be able to recognize, to say, well, let's designate the Cartel Jalisco New Generation and the Sinaloa Cartel, and maybe the big ones, just 5 major big ones, as foreign terrorist organizations, which, by the way, would be under the State Department. Well, that takes a political will.
It doesn't make sense to me. How many people can get on a Southwest Airlines? 270, or American Airlines turned 70. If one of them was going down every single day, if an airline was crashing every single day, this country would be in an uproar. If 100,000 people are getting poisoned by fentanyl every year, that's 270 people a day, 365 days a year.
I've used the comparison of 3 9/11s a month.
Yeah.
We're experiencing 3 9/11s a month, but because there's no fire, there's no smoke, I don't see it. But I'll tell you what, just the other day, I already have friends and family members that have lost their loved ones to a poisoning. And I had and I'll tell her story. There was a 23-year-old young girl, because I want people to understand that people that die of fentanyl overdoses are the people that have never used a drug in their life, and people that are highly addicted to fentanyl itself. In this case, this young girl, 23-year-old, her mother took her to get an oral surgery, was prescribed Percocet, ran out. Her friend says, "Oh, I'll get you some because I'm still in pain." Dead, fentanyl poisoning. I mean, that's
what I'm saying. They're not. Everybody thinks, oh, these are just sleep on the street heroin addicts or something that are getting these pills. Simply not true. No. I mean, some of these are first time trying to stay awake for finals or whatever, so they get something off Snapchat or whatever. One pill. I've had one where we saw on their credit card receipt, they bought one pill, broke it in half because they weren't quite sure, so they took half of a pill and they were dead the next morning because they broke off the half that had the fentanyl. These aren't time released.
And something I'll bring into the conversation that we haven't touched about is the role that Mexico plays here. Because where's the fentanyl coming from? Where are the cartels headquartered? In Mexico, and we need to address that. There is a big issue. We have the president of Mexico saying, "Oh, we really don't produce fentanyl here," and ignoring the crisis of the president of Mexico now holds the record for the most murders under his administration with his 6 years over there. I think there are over 160,000 murders. homicides. Can you imagine that per capita here?
No, it's astounding to me. We talk about these children being trafficked into the sex trade. Some of them are being trafficked into slaughterhouses, horrible existence, chicken houses where there's like 30,000 chickens in a barn, and they're in there having to work in that not so pleasant environment at 10, 11 years old.
And the reason why is because the enforcement removal operations under ICE that does what they call worksite enforcement have been kind of not completely shut down, but not allowed to go investigate those. And that's pure politics. How does I always you mentioned DUIs, and I use this example. It's like the mayor of a city telling the chief of police, "You're no longer gonna enforce DUIs. Stop it. But you are gonna pull them over, and you are gonna identify them as drunk, and then you're gonna let them go." Well, why is it wrong when it's DUIs, but it's okay because it's related to immigration? This is where we're at right now.
Let me ask you this. Are we creating a lot of this problem by having a broken immigration court where it takes forever to get into this country legally?
Yes. That's one of the problems. And I've said it a lot. We need to fix that legal immigration system because we want these good people to come in. They have been vetted. They've done everything they've been asked to do. They're not going to be a public charge. They're actually going to be community members here. They're bringing something of value to our country, and it's taking them 14 years to do it. Well, that's wrong. And so, yes. Now, which is kind of weird. I have people that have done it the legal way. My parents were the ones that did it the legal way, but those are not the ones that saying, I'm going to give up on the legal way and I'm going to come through the river. No, it's a different. You have a very different type of migrant that's coming. You have a very poor, uneducated. You have highly educated that also come through the river. Doctors, lawyers, scientists, they come through there. And then you have the Chinese nationals. You don't know what their intention is. So you have I want people to understand, what you were seeing in Eagle Pass, Texas, was the poorest of the poor because they were having to take the train. They didn't have any more money. They were already extorted and robbed and all these things. But then the ones coming through Arizona and California, they're paying big dollar. They're getting like a VIP treatment. They've flown in, driven to the end of the wall and walk over with their suitcases. And they have money on them. I'm at the San Antonio International Airport. Just wanted to let you guys know what I witnessed these past couple of days and still here at the airport. Went into another tour at Eagle Pass after having a great, successful press conference supporting our sheriffs to finally declare an invasion here in the state of Texas. Went down to Eagle Pass and continued to observe more of the illegal aliens coming in and pouring into our country without absolutely impunity. Just come on in. Lawlessness. No laws followed, nothing. But then I get to the San Antonio airport where I'm going to be flying out of to go back home. And they're all here. They're all here. Behind me, counted about 25 illegal aliens. Well-fed, well-dressed. And this is not a humanitarian issue. This is not, Victor, why are you so cruel? Why don't you want people to come into this country? I want people to come into this country legally. I want people to follow the law. I'm a law and order guy. I want people to respect the Constitution. I want people to respect our sovereignty. We are not violating their sovereignty in Venezuela or Nicaragua or Cuba, as terrible as those countries might be. Yet they violate ours every single moment as I speak to you right now. Yet TSA allows them to get on airplanes without any ID. The laws just do not pertain to them. And you could tell in my voice a little frustration as I film this video because I don't know what to do anymore as far as bringing the awareness. That's one thing, but something's got to change. We need to shift the burden back on these countries to take care of their people. Why has the burden been placed on the United States of America? Why is the responsibility on our shoulders to have to clothe them, bathe them, shelter them, give them health care, education when they come from their countries. The United States citizens are not going to other countries and asking them to do that. Why does that continue to happen? And of course, it's the national security issue and the public safety issue that I'm mostly concerned about, because these people are not being completely vetted. We really do not know the reason why they're here, whether they want to come to work, whether they want to come and commit more crimes against U.S. citizens. It happens every day. I hate reading that in the news and seeing that an illegal alien killed a U.S. citizen, raped a U.S. citizen little girl. It's happening every day, selling drugs. Yes, that also happens here. I know not all of them, but it does happen.